When we look at this market and we look at, I guess, what in some areas is a bit of tranquility as folks sort of try to figure out where the economic recovery is going. And then you have kind of the madness with AMC and some of these other meme stocks. What's the general sentiment takeaway that you get from some of the price action we've seen over the past 5 or 6 weeks?
Clearly, AMC, GameStop, maybe one or two others I can't explain their valuation, but they are a tiny, tiny fraction of the total market capitalization of the market, which I think is quite fairly priced. Earnings are surging. Interest rates remain low. As you know, I've been on your show saying I think we're going to have a lot of inflation, and I don't think that that's necessarily bad for stocks. So I have no trouble with where the market is selling for at the present time.
But what does it tell you, Professor, that we're in this day and age again where some people really are brushing off financial or valuations and fundamentals?
I agree. There are those few stocks where it's just the crowd. We're going to launch them. Take the ride with us. Become rich. Unfortunately, we know there's a lot of people going to be holding the bag at the end, and they're not long-term investments. The market is a long-term investment. You can be a winner in that market. These meme stocks are not going to produce very many long-term winners at all. It's just something like gambling, and you have to be aware of that.
Professor Siegel, I'm wondering how you think about the dynamics of supply and demand in the equity market right now. Obviously, AMC's in the market today with new issuance. We've had this huge surge in supply of shares over the last 12 months, really anomalous relative to the last 10 years. How do you think about that? Will we have the demand recovery to balance out that supply recovery?
Well, I'm not an expert on valuing movie theaters. I actually have just 3 blocks from me an AMC, so I always hoped that it survived. And maybe now there's a better chance it will survive because I love to go to the movies. I mean, to be worth as many billions as it is, as everyone reported, over 250 stocks of the S&P 500 have a valuation less. I scratched my head about that. But let me say, I went through. You guys probably went through the dot-com mania, and that affected a lot more stocks and a lot more of the market than the few that are getting all the headlines today. So I don't think that, markets will always see this sort of craziness, if you wish to call it. It's part of speculative markets, and we should accept it. But I think we have to keep our eye on the ball of the main market, and in that sense, I think we're perfectly fine.